Is it going to work? All right. Hey, legends. Frazer Brooks here. Coming to you today from Dubai. Hope you are doing absolutely incredible no matter where you are. We are tuning. We are streaming now on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube as well. So if you're out there, do let me know that you're out there by sharing what location you are from, what's the nearest city that you're in, or what's the country that you're in. I'm in Dubai, the UAE. Absolutely love it here. Hopefully soon going over to Europe for a few months as well of travel and events and family stuff and all that awesomeness. All right, so today I want to share with you how you can win in network marketing with 3 very simple steps. Now, I don't know about you guys, but people get overwhelmed these days, right? They get overwhelmed and overwhelmed and overwhelmed. And here's the thing I want you to write down. Overwhelm is a choice. You choose to be overwhelmed when you're doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, right? If you're out there on the golf course and you love playing golf, you don't get overwhelmed. If you're doing yoga and you love doing yoga, you don't get overwhelmed. If you're playing with your dog and you love your dog, you don't get overwhelmed. But you might get overwhelmed with all the stuff that you need to do around the house. You might get overwhelmed with the number of follow-ups you need to do. You might get overwhelmed by all the little things that you have to prepare for a holiday that you're going on. But when you're on holiday and there's loads of activities to do, you don't get overwhelmed. Overwhelm is a choice. You choose to get overwhelmed when you're doing the things you don't really want to be doing until you actually fall in love with doing them and you get some control. So that's the first thing that I need you guys to understand. Now, when you are overwhelmed, there's an exercise called do, delegate, dump. Shout out to my friend Linda in Australia. She was the first one who actually told me about this through someone she learned it through. But do, delegate, dump. So imagine this. I want you to take a massive piece of paper. Let's imagine this is the piece of paper. And just set a timer for 10 minutes. And for 10 minutes, write all the things that you're thinking about when it comes to your business. Write them all down on a piece of paper. Or in this example, the board. So it could be follow-up, it could be Facebook Live, Instagram stories, TikTok videos, reels, carousels, learning about how to post on YouTube, thumbnails, captions, AI. You're like inviting people, presenting to people, following up with people, the next event, a leadership event, my own event, how I'm going to do the presentation. All of these different things, write them down. Write them down on a piece of paper. And just appreciate there are only 3 types of actions that you can take. You either do it, you either delegate it to someone else, or you dump it for a week. Meaning you forget it for a week. It's not that important. So recently, I got overwhelmed, right? I chose to be overwhelmed. It was January, February, like the back end of January, beginning of February. We had about 5 or 6 weeks until our second baby Ava, who, by the way, is just an absolute dream. 5 or 6 weeks before she was arriving, and I was thinking, I haven't really got everything prepared. I'm a little bit stressed out for Svetlana because I know how childbirth is just so intense and all that fun stuff, right? Not that it's fun stuff, but once it's over, it kind of is fun stuff. Anyway, I was going through that, and then we had Dare to Dream happening 4 weeks after, right? So I'm like thinking, okay, well, we've got the baby coming, and then we've got 4 weeks of like hell, because you just don't sleep in the first like 6 to 8 weeks. Then I've got the biggest, one of the most important events of my entire career. Like, I was getting a bit overwhelmed. So I took a step back, I wrote down all the different things that were going on in my head, and I realized, you know what? They all fall under 3 buckets. And I was just thinking, wow, like I've just simplified the whole thing for myself. Like if it doesn't fall underneath one of these 3 buckets, I'm wasting my time. And I'll tell you a story after I'm going to give you the points here about how powerful this exercise is. So I want to share with you what I believe to be the 3 simple steps for you to be able to have success inside of network marketing. All right. Now, if you are watching this on Instagram, you will see that in the pinned comment and also in the title, it says comment book. That's because we've just released the digital version of our 3 best-selling books, which are over there. Let me grab them for you. I I Dare You, I Double Dare You, and Loser to Legend. These books have sold over 300,000 copies all over the world. We've never had a digital version of it, and we've never had the audio version of it narrated by me. So if you comment book on Instagram, you will be able to go ahead and get your copy of that book. 1, 2, all 3 of them, the audio versions. You'll check it out. It's only $9 per book, and there's a bundle package, which is just a no-brainer. You'll see that. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, sorry, you can go to FrazerBrooks.com/book, right? FrazerBrooks.com/book, all right? Or I think it's it's somewhere. You'll find it. FrazerBrooks.com/book. If it's important enough for you, you'll find a way to make it happen. All right, so these are the 3 things that you've got to be doing every single day, if not every single week. So, number 1, and if you're on Instagram, it's probably going to be inverted or reversed. Okay, number 1 is conversations. Conversations. Now, these can be conversations with new people or existing people. And it doesn't have to have a purpose. Like, the intention of the conversation is for connection. The deeper the connection, the more trust that's built. The more trust that's built, the more likely they are to check out what you're doing in time. Okay? Now, if you have urgency because you have a goal and a desire and crazy amount of ambition and hunger, then you're probably going to want to progress the conversation towards an invitation. If you're just like, well, you know what? I'm going to be building this business for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I'm going to trust the process of relationships. Then, hey, have conversations around relationships. However, I will say, I don't want you to waste a load of time building relationships when you don't have any intention to take the next step. Okay? That's the first step. The second step are then presentations. Now, this is my little rant for today, and I hope you're getting value from this and enjoying this. I am trying to bring the lives back as often as I can. It's just so difficult because this is like a really good time to do it, but it's also not a great time to do it. So anyway, presentations. Be honest. Let me know in the chat, whichever platform you're on, how many of you leverage a presentation that's already been done by someone else? Let me ask that question again. How many of you leverage a company or a leader presentation that's about the product or about the business that's already been done by someone else? Meaning it's a recorded video, it's a recorded Zoom, it's a webinar, like whatever it might be, right? Like, just because I'm going to have it a guess that it's the majority of you, right? Now, it's not that you're doing the wrong thing. You're just not doing, in my opinion, the right thing. Now, bear with me. That's why I said it's a rant. It's a realization that I've had over the last 12 to 18 months that I think it's my responsibility to now tell the world of network marketing what they really should be doing. Now, just because it's easier to do that doesn't mean it's better. And people usually take the path of least resistance, right? They take the path that's easier for them. They take the path that requires less friction, less rejection, less hassle, less effort, less energy. But the path of most resistance is also where the growth comes. Where do you get more muscles from? By lifting 30 kilograms for 10 reps or by lifting 80 kilograms for 10 reps? 80 kilograms, right? But it's harder. It's much harder. You're going to sweat. You're going to hurt. You're going to be like popping veins. It's not so easy. So when it comes to presentations, it's not about how many presentations or how many people you get on the recorded presentation each day or each week. It's about how many times have you said the presentation each day or each week. Because when you do your first presentation, it's going to be so bad that what happens is either one of two things. Oh, I'm never doing that again. I'll just get someone else to do it. Which means you're always leveraging someone else's skill instead of your own. Or you realize, I'm never going to be that bad ever again. So you learn the words and you do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again until people come to you and say, oh, but Sarah, you're so freaking good at doing the presentation. Can you do it? And you go, yeah, and you record it, and people use your recordings until you teach your team and say, listen, you should learn the words yourself and do the words yourself, and then you record your own presentation so that you've got the skill that you can always fall back on. Because if anything happens to your company, you need brand, you need skill, and you need community. Otherwise, you'll stress out. If something happens to your company or you have a deep feeling that something will happen to your community, if you have a brand, you have skills, and you have a community, you will always be okay. But if you don't have those three things, you'll be panicking, you'll have anxiety, you won't like it. All right, back to the point. So the three simple things in order to succeed in network marketing. Number one, conversations. You've got to have conversations every single day. How many are you having every single day right now? Well, let me ask you guys a question. On a weekly basis, how many conversations are you having with new people? Or you know what? New and existing people, right? Not including family members, because you're just talking about absolute nonsense with them. Not nonsense, but you're like nonsense when it comes to the business, right? How many conversations? 5, 10, 20? I already know what the most common answer will be. Not enough. That'll be the most common answer. Yeah, there we go. Catherine's already said it. Okay, so 5, 6, 8, 4, 2, 24, 187. Not enough, not enough, not enough. It's the reality. And if that's step one, how can you expect to have more presentations if the number of conversations you're having are low? Because if this number is 100, this number is not going to be 105. How can you have 105 presentations? And by the way, a presentation doesn't matter if it's 1 to 1, 1 to 5, 1 to 100. That's one presentation. You say the word once. Doesn't matter how many people are listening. That's always one presentation. Okay. The third one. The third one is the most rewarding, most frustrating, that makes you question. That makes you question if it's actually worth doing. So it's the most rewarding, most frustrating, and it makes you question if it's actually worth doing. Sorry if it's cut off on Instagram, on Facebook, Facebook and YouTube, you should be able to see that. All right, leadership development. Leadership development. Now, if you're having conversations with new people, and you're doing presentations with new people, then you're going to get signups. And if you help those signups get conversations and presentations, they're going to get signups. And if you work with them to help their person have conversations and do presentations, I'm literally drawing it on my piece of paper here, which is actually not a piece of paper, it's just the desk. If you help people do that, then guess what? You will start to duplicate. However, it will then reach a problem, right, where you help Mary, help Sarah. Once it gets past this line, it's going to be impossible to scale. You're not going to handle it, because you can contact Mary because you signed Mary up. You can help Mary to contact Sarah because you have that contact with Mary, and Mary has that direct contact with Sarah. But as soon as Sarah recruits Bob, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to work with Bob and contact Bob, especially if there's any egos in between. Mary or Sarah goes, no, I work with my team. You don't touch my team. Still baffles me that people say that, right? It just still does. Why not have the leverage if your upline is successful? All right, anyway. So, leadership development. To me, leadership, in simple terminology, is a development to be able to lead yourself in order to lead other people to lead themselves. Because how the hell can you lead other people if you don't know how to lead yourself? You can't. You can't teach someone what you've never done. You can't teach someone discipline if you're not disciplined. You can't teach someone focus if you're not focused. You can't teach someone commitment if you're not committed. You can't teach someone high energy if you haven't got high energy. So leadership development is learning how to lead yourself so that you're able to lead others how to lead themselves. And that takes a long time. And this is why it's the most rewarding, because when you make Sarah a leader, when you've developed Sarah as a leader, you're able to say, I've got a leader. Like everything else that Sarah builds, I know that whether I'm here or not, she's going to do it because she's a leader. She doesn't need my help. She can lead herself, right? Because I've led myself to lead other people, lead themselves, right? Now, that's when it's rewarding. However, let's say you recruit Claire, and Claire recruits Dylan. Don't know why I went with Dylan. First time we're going with Dylan. And you decide that you want to work with Dylan to develop Dylan. Because Dylan's got potential. Dylan's got so much potential. Dylan is ambitious. He works like a horse. Like, Dylan's good. And you pour into Dylan like you can never imagine. Like, you go so hard onto Dylan. Sorry for Instagram guys, you can't see that here. But you go so hard onto Dylan. You're obsessed with Dylan. Like, he is going to crush it in your business. And then 6 months later, 3 years later, 2 years later, 12 months later, 4 months later, whatever, Dylan decides that network marketing's not for him. Or Dylan decides that the company that you're with is not for him. Or Dylan gets a massive ego and decides that he'll never be number one in the company because he thinks that the people above him will always outrank him. So he does something else, joins another company. That's when it's frustrating. That's when it feels like a waste of time. But that's just going to happen. It's going to reward you long term by being consistent with it. And you'll get better the more you do it because you'll be able to identify people. And identification is the key here. Identifying the people to have conversations with, identifying the people to jump on a presentation, and identifying the people to pour into. If I was you guys, I was in the field right now, or I had to start from scratch, I would be doing these three things. And here's what I'm going to tell you guys. And before I do that, if you haven't already done so, either comment book if you're on Instagram, or go to frazerbrooks.com/book if you want a digital copy or the audio copies of these three best-selling books. Over 300,000 network marketers have gone through this content. I don't know anyone else in the network marketing space who's coached and trained more people on how to build a business in network marketing on social media than myself. Like, I don't know anyone else. Don't know anyone else who's done that. So you might as well learn from the source, right? Who's helped so many people do this, right? So, right. With that being said, here's the question. I want you to audit for the rest of June, and June is June Boom. For the rest of June, or whatever month that you're watching this in right now, because I'm keeping the recording up on Facebook and YouTube. I want you to audit all the things that you're doing with your network marketing business. How many of those things don't fall in to these brackets? Like, what you're doing, is it generating conversations? Is it starting conversations? Yes or no? Is what you're doing leading towards a presentation? Yes or no? Is what you're doing developing leaders on your team or developing yourself as a leader? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you're wasting your time. And this is then the other frame that I want you to kind of really think about. Let's say you're driving to an event, and the event is a company event, and it's a 2-day event, Saturday, Sunday. And it's cost a bit of money. It's probably going to cost you $500 for the ticket, the fuel in the car, the parking, the hotel. Like, let's say $500. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. You can decide that. And you're thinking like, oh, I can't wait for this event. But why can't you wait for the event? Like, which one of these three things is the event actually going to help you with? Conversations? Probably not. Presentations? Definitely not. Leadership development? So that's why you get excited. I'm excited because this event is going to give me the opportunity to develop further leadership skills for my online business. Okay, great. Now what do? You take that and then you create content. I'm on the way to a leadership development seminar for 2 days to expand my leadership skills to help with my online business. What are you doing this weekend? Nothing, learning, team active, right? It's a poll. So then people are like, team active, nothing, learning, team active. So you start conversations, tick. What do those conversations then lead to with the right people? It's going to lead into presentations. Great. And when you have a bunch of people that join your team, you're going to be pouring into the right people. Bang. You're going to help develop those leaders as well. That's how this game wins. But if you don't have that mindset and you don't have that mentality, you'll go into the room, high energy. This is going to change my life because people say leaders are born at events, but the only leaders that are born at events, the people who go to events with an intention. Not just going to go. It's not, you got to show up to grow up, to go up. A lot of people just show up for the sake of showing up and thinking that's where the money's made. It's not. It's showing up with intention. That's where you grow up, and that's when you go up if you take action. All right, guys? So I appreciate you. I hope you got value from that. If you did get value from that, do me a massive favor. Leave a comment down below. Feel free to share this with your network marketing friends and family, and I cannot wait to see you next time. All right? Big kisses. Ciao for now. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.